The build program is about 3 years behind schedule, and we have had some overspending on the build program as well. But we are now trying to arrest the process and catch up with the build program, so that we can deliver it in about 24 to 36 months period.
So that means still load shedding continues?
Well, we are going to try, because the reason we're load shedding is because of our maintenance backlog. And so what we are now devising is a strategy to allow us to do maintenance without load shedding. So that means that at any particular one point in time, we allow ourselves a maximum amount of load shedding, a maximum amount of maintenance that we can do without load shedding. And so these are the numbers that we are working on now to allocate machines and do maintenance in a way that we do not do load shedding. Having said that, it does not mean that load shedding will disappear completely because of the error or the unplanned or the random events that will happen during the process, because anything can happen while we are executing that plan.
The minister said it's still going to go on for another 2 years. Is this
Yes,
the
it
case?
will go on for another 2 years, but in 2 years' time, the bulk of the build program will have been delivered with the capacity that comes with it. And if the build program does get delivered, we should have minimal or no load shedding at all.
In your presentation earlier on, I got an impression that you actually have enough capacity at around 42,000 megawatts.
Yes.
And what's the problem? Why load shedding then?
Because we have not been so diligent with maintenance, and so a lot of the machines are breaking down, pushing us into unplanned maintenance or breakdowns that we have to deal with. So as we're fixing those machines, we have to switch them off, reducing the capacity that is available, and as well as planned maintenance that also reduces capacity that is available, because you have to switch off those machines while you are fixing them or while you are doing maintenance. But installed capacity is about 43.5 gigawatts, which is higher than demand.
So you think that the proposed prepaid system is going to help?
Proposed prepaid system is going to help us with our balance sheet. It's going to help us with the way that Eskom is funded, with the way that Eskom manages revenue, with the way that Eskom minimizes bad debts. Because with prepaid, people pay us before they receive electricity, firstly. But secondly, with prepaid, when people are on prepaid, they actually manage what they consume. They become aware of what they're consuming. And so with prepaid, when they see a light that should be off, that nobody is using, or an electrical appliance that nobody is using, because they are actually constantly watching the amount of money that is in the meter, they are able to actually reduce, which is good for demand management. They are able to reduce their consumption of electricity.
And are you getting a buy-in from relevant stakeholders?
There is a lot of support for prepaid. Quite a lot of people have come forward and said it makes sense. And in fact, a lot of people that are not even on prepaid have said that, in fact, they would prefer to move to prepaid, because they will then be able to manage their electricity consumption better. If you think about it, prepaid has been very successful with cell phones. And if we can do it with cell phones, I do not see why we can't do it with electricity. A lot of people prepare prepaid cell phone to contracts, and that is basically what we are arguing for. Prepaid cell phones are good for the communications companies.
Okay, let's quickly switch to money now. You got a 60 billion rand subordinated loan from the government, and you also got another boost of 23 billion rand. You must be fine, monetary-wise.
Well, the 60 billion was given to us a long time ago as a loan, but it is now being converted into equity. So
I thought it was in December, actually.
No, some time ago. Oh. It is now being converted into equity. And I think 2008, we got the 60 billion. That was a loan, but it is now being converted into equity. And the 23 billion is an equity injection by government. As members were saying in the hearing, they think that that is the role of a developmental state to assist a utility as important as Eskom with fiscal transfers in times of need. And there were quite a few sentiments that were expressed in the hearing about the fact that it is actually government's role to step in and assist when there is a problem of this proportion.
But they also alerted to the fact that the government is not an ATM, by the way. You need to get your
That is true, that is true.
And how are you going to do that? I mean, you have this debt of 298 billion.
Well, you always refer to debt as a proportion of the total capital available in the company, which is your gearing. And so before this equity injection and conversion of the loan, our gearing was at 75%, which is considered very high. And now it will improve to about 69%. And from there, I hope that once we have finished the capital expenditure program and the installed capacity starts giving us revenue, we will be able to use that revenue to reduce debt and gearing even further down, and hopefully even be able to regain our investment grade rating.
And are you on track to do that by 2018?
We are working very hard at making sure that the capital investment program is delivered, Medupi and Kusile, as well as catching up on the maintenance backlog, so that that is done by 2018 or 2019.